in association with nerdaddiction.com. Be sure to check out Marvel Addicts on Facebook.
You said look no scary.
You suck. You are one ugly bitch. Hello YouTube, Ultra Maximus back with another retro review for 31 horror toys in 31 days! And today we're going to rewind it all the way back to 1997 with a Toy Biz figure from their X-Men line. It's Monster Armor Mystique. I love a good monster toy, and what better time of year to take a look at monster figures than the month of October for Halloween, and this was definitely a fun one. There was a whole series of Monster Armor X-Men. I remember this one in particular and the Wolverine one. I got this figure in a trade from my buddy CC. He's a huge Pops fan, and I got some exclusive and hard-to-find Pops figures that he couldn't find in his area, and he had this along with a bunch of other X-Men figures that he traded me for, and I saved this one for this month. So let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. So here we have Monster Armor Mystique in the packaging, and I gotta say, I really do dig this packaging. We got a picture of Wolverine up here, looking very, very Halloweenish, which is nice. Nice kind of orangish type of package. It says Monster Armor, and it's got the X-Men logo. We got Mystique, and then here are the monster bits that go on her. And I really liked her in the Monster Armor line because she is a shapeshifter, and, well, she could morph into this look, I suppose. Yeah, definitely very cool. So just kind of a close-up really quick. It says X-Men Monster Armor and the Wolverine artwork. I really do dig. I really like the sculpt of Mystique right there. I think that looks pretty cool. All of her monster bits. There she is down in the corner. And then, of course, it says Toy Biz in the corner. Back of the packaging here. And the back of the package has kind of a plot to the toy line, which is kind of cool. It's all about Mr. Sinister trying to take everything over, of course, and he's mutating the mutants and turning them into monsters. And then we get a picture of Mystique, and she mutates into the She-Beast, which is kind of funny. So is this like the female version of Beast, I guess? I can kind of see that. And then we got a little write-up of Mystique right there, all the other Monster Armor figures that are in the wave, and then some Spider-Man figures to boot. So just kind of a close-up really quick at the back of the package. Here's the write-up on the plot line. If you want to pause and read that, you are more than welcome to. And then there is Mystique turning into the She-Beast. And then here is the write-up on Mystique. If you want to pause and read that, you are more than welcome to. And then here are all the other figures in this wave. I do like the kind of Sauron version of Rogue right there. Wolverine looks kind of weird. Mr. Sinister looks kind of weird. The Cyclops with the one eye looks pretty cool. I do like that. And then here are some of the other figures in the Spider-Man wave, which is pretty darn cool. So definitely digging those. Now the one thing I kind of noticed, which is funny, we've got Mystique with her left arm bent upright and this arm going down, and they used a mirror image for the actual She-Beast right there. Probably because it fits better on the package. I don't know. Kind of interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the packaging. Let's go ahead and get Mystique out of box and see what we think. So here we have Mystique out of the packaging, and I gotta say, this is a pretty fun figure. I like this figure a lot more than I thought I was going to. I will say, without the armor, she is definitely a very little toy. And I'll show that off when I do the comparison. But the sculpt work is actually pretty decent. I like it for the most part. She doesn't have a lot of articulation, which we'll go over here in a second. But the sculpt work is actually really well done, especially in the body. To be honest, I don't really care for the head. but the body itself and the dress and skulls especially, very, very cool. Now, as far as articulation goes, keep in mind this is a 90s toy, so her head moves back and forth. This arm moves up and down like this. This arm moves up and down like that. This leg kicks all the way around. Woo! She can do some splits, and then this one does the same. And that's really it as far as articulation goes. And she stands really, really well with these high heels. It's balanced very nicely, so good job to the designers for that. Now, of course, the whole play gimmick to this figure is she's got these Monster Armor parts. And they're really just kind of accessories for her. I don't know how much armor it really is. But I do like the fact that, you know, it works well for her because she's a shapeshifter. Some of the other figures are kind of like, like the Wolverine looks really, really goofy. But I gotta say, the Cyclops, I might have to pick up. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and put the components on her really quick here and see what we think. So, to do that, we're going to take this, and if you look on the back of these pieces right here, they just kind of clamp onto the figure. If I can find the right parts, this is the right part. Okay, so we're going to clamp that on just like that, and then we're going to clamp this one on. Just like that, and she looks like she's wearing boots for the winter. She's got like furry Uggs on. That is hilarious looking. The arms are kind of the tricky bit. This one, you can see the fist kind of goes right here. So you kind of shove the fist up in there and then clamp it onto her arm. Come on, get in there. There we go. And yep, so that one clamps on like that. You can see it kind of hangs right there. And then this one, this is probably the trickiest one, getting her hand. You can kind of see the hand wants to go in here like this. I found that if you kind of work the wrist in here first, it tends to work a little bit better, and then you can wrap it around like that. So then she has that, so there she is there with the armor on, and then you've got her big ugly face, the she-beast face, which is kind of interesting. I wonder if that was a play with the beast. Oh, we lost the leg. We'll put that back on here in a second. So that just, her head just kind of clamps into the back there. Let's put this leg back on. There it is. And here we go. We have Mystique in her she-beast armor. Let's kind of zoom out a little bit, and yeah, there it is. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. Now, the nice thing is the armor does not hamper the articulation, so that is nice. I do like that. You can move these parts around as you wish, and it does not hamper. And they stick on here really well. Even the head still turns, which is kind of funny. And I really expected these to be a lot looser than what they are, so you know, that's a job well done, again, by the engineers. So taking a closer look at the figure itself, I like the sculpt on this figure for the most part. The face is kind of so-so to me. I just don't think it looks like Mystique that much to me. It looks a little off. She's got that 90s style haircut, which I like. I love the dress. The body sculpt on the figure looks nice. The shoulders, the way her chest is cut, the lower cut on the back of the dress there looks nice. Definitely dig that. The white gloves, everything there looks pretty cool. Now the hair, I think they could have added some highlights in there, maybe some more wash. There is a black wash on it, but it could have been a little bit better. And then she's got a little skull on her forehead that was very prominent in 90s comics. But yeah, definitely she's kind of a really, to be honest, a butterface. Everything looks good, butterface. And taking a look at the midsection of the figure, here's what I'm talking about. Look how awesome she looks from the neck down. Oh, that sounds sexist. Just the sculpt is so amazing. All the little skulls on the belt. The way the dress kind of flows. It's got the under spandex The back of the dress there kind of has this nice little flow. Her hands, I like how her hand is, her right hand is kind of open with the fingers out, and then the left hand's got this nice, I'm going to punch you in the side of the jaw look. Just overall, this is what I think of when I think of the 90s design of Mystique, and I really wish they would bring this about in the films. And finally, taking a look at the legs of the figure, again, wonderfully sculpted. I like the boots, I like the high heel design. They stand really, really nice for being high heels, something a lot of Marvel Legends cannot do today. And then the front of the skirt, how it comes down, all the sculpted detail in that. The white and the blue, it's very simplistic, but it's also very, very Mystique. So taking a closer look at the figure itself, the face, the she-beast, is kind of funny and kind of cool at the same time. I love the skulls. I like the two different sets of blue. It has a very voodoo mask vibe to it, although it's all blue and furry. Especially when you look at the back here, it's all open, totally loses that morphing kind of look there because we can see the back of her head, but it really kind of reinforces the whole voodoo vibe, which is kind of fun. I know it's kind of a play on the beast with the she-beast, but yeah, I think I would like it better if it was in some kind of voodoo colors. That actually might look pretty cool. And then taking a look at the midsection of the figure, again, we can kind of see the hands, not kind of see, but definitely see the hands inside the big monster arms. They've got to be looked at from the kind of the front point of view, and they look pretty cool. I like the sculpt. I like the light blue on the fur, the dark blue for the skin, and it's got the white bony claws and on the elbow, which is very, very nice. And it doesn't affect any of the articulation on the figure, so I think that was good in design. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's kind of a fun play gimmick, but also it's, you know, it's a play gimmick, and you kind of got to live with it. But for the most part, I like it. I think it's pretty fun, and it's definitely something they haven't done in a long, long time. And finally, taking a look at the legs of the figure. Again, I love the front look of these things. I like the bony white paint job on the skulls, on the knees, and the wraps. The light blue fur going down over, and then we got some dark fur underneath. And it's got three spiky bones that come out at the toes and on the ankles. The ankles are okay, but I think I would have preferred like maybe 3 toes coming out to kind of match the claws on the arms. I think that would have been cool. And of course, all the illusion is lost by looking on the back, and it looks like she's wearing basically costume stilts. Which kind of really gives you an idea on how to create a Halloween costume with some great big old furry legs and some furry arms. But from the front, yeah, these things definitely look cool, but it would look a lot cooler if we actually had multiple toes on the feet. For comparison, here we have Mystique in her monster she-beast armor next to Scream from Marvel Legends, and with the armor on, she's actually about the same size as Scream, and Scream's kind of one of the shorter figures in the Marvel Legends line, so as you can tell, this is really not that tall of a figure, but if she's got the monster armor on, at least she kind of fits in scale a bit. And here we have Mystique without the monster armor on next to Scream. As you can see, she almost like cuts in half of the size. So she is definitely a very, very small figure and does not fit at all in the Marvel Legends scale. But that's okay. To be honest, I'm going to display her in the monster armor because I just think that's a lot more fun. So is the Monster Armor Mystique from Toy Biz something that you want in your X-Men collection? Well, to be honest, this could be a really easy pass for a lot of people. Unless you like the weird, goofy, kind of niche toys from the 90s. I don't know if you would like this or not. If you like monsters and X-Men, sure, why not? Me, personally, I do like the weird and goofy and fun toys. Especially ones with play gimmicks that work, and this does. While the motif on this one's kind of goofy, it looks like a voodoo mask of fur, but it works because she's a shapeshifter to me, and I like to play on the beast with the she-beast. The nice thing is the armor snaps on pretty tightly, but not too tight to damage the figure. So I feel like these parts are not going to get lost if I keep her up on the shelf. Even if she falls over, I feel like, they're probably still going to hang on to her, which is nice because a lot of play gimmicks just don't work that well, especially over time. Now, this is something I might like to see in the future. It'd be kind of fun to go back to a retro series like this, but who knows? So there she is, Monster Armor Mystique from Toy Biz for 31 horror toys in 31 days!
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, thumbs it up. If you hate this video, thumbs it down. To watch more Ultra Maximus, click on the links to the right. Don't forget to subscribe and share, like us on Facebook, and look for more videos in the future.